I want to welcome you to the Mind Over Mental Block module on managing confidence killers. So at this point, we've talked about confidence, we've talked about self-talk, we have talked about building yourself up so that you're ready to go to practice and accomplish big things. But what that means is we also need to prepare for all of those things that are going to come and stand in our way. So that's what today is about, is managing those different things that are going to come and try to tear us down, so that we can persevere and we can push past them and achieve our goals and really get past these blocks and fears that we have. So again, I'm Mandy Patterson, owner of Mandy Patterson Coaching. By now, you're very familiar with me with all the modules and our one-on-one coaching sessions. So the first thing I want you to do is I want to make sure that you're paying attention. So as always, I ask that you put away all distractions, turn off the TV, put your phone on silent and away from you so you're not distracted. But again, the content is helpful, it's great, it's valuable to know, but you're not going to get what you really need to get out of it if you are on your phone or on the computer playing a game or just not paying attention. So again, for our time together, I promise that I will be as brief as possible, but just during our time, please make sure that you are paying attention as much as you possibly can. I also want to make sure that you have your action guide handy. So your Managing Confidence Killers action guide, it was number 1 under this module or this week. So make sure that you either have that printed or that you have that saved to your desktop so that you can fill in your answers. As always, make sure that what you were typing in, if you're choosing to type in, make sure that what you were typing in actually does save, because I would hate for you to close the document at the end of this and all of your hard work is gone. So PDFs are a little tricky sometimes when they're fillable, so just make sure that everything is saving the way that you want it to. So today, again, we're going to talk about the main confidence killers and how to manage those. But before we jump into that, I feel like it's important for us to just review what confidence is. Self-confidence, which is what we really want, is how strongly you believe in your ability to execute a task, okay? So again, with confidence, you know that you can do the skills you need to do, and you can just focus, right? You're confident, you're ready to go, you walk into practice prepared. Okay, so the 2 types of confidence that we want is we want confidence that is stable, and we want confidence that is proactive. So again, we want confidence that doesn't change from day to day, and we want confidence that we can carry with us into unfamiliar territory, right? Into new competitions, new situations. So again, we want exceptional confidence that is stable and proactive. So we are in control of our confidence. You are in control of your confidence. Don't wait for confidence to happen. Create confidence, build confidence, okay? The way that we do that is by 2 different ways, okay? The first one is our confidence resume. If your confidence is not where it needs to be, or you're lacking confidence, or that is an area where you struggle, it is really important that you have your confidence resume, you know where it is, and you're constantly updating it, and that you have that available. Okay, so before practice or a game or a performance, review that resume. This helps build confidence. Look at all of the things that you have accomplished, right? Why do you deserve to be confident? Well, it's all right here in front of you, okay? So again, just make that part of your pre-performance routine where you have your confidence resume and you're reviewing it. The next thing you're gonna do is when you're finished with a competition or when you're finished with practice, add to it. Add 1 or 2 things. Today I did this really, really well. Today, I'm really proud that I accomplished this. The second way we build confidence is with proactive self-talk, okay? So this is just where we select positive statements that we're going to tell ourselves to build us up and set us up for success. I can do this. I'm excited for this challenge. I am ready to take on this block head on. I can absolutely do my back handspring. I'm strong and I'm capable, okay? So again, just deciding ahead of time, what are you going to tell yourself to build you up? Stable, proactive confidence is created by your confidence resume and proactive self-talk. The next thing that we want to do is we want to identify sources of reactive confidence to overcome. So again, we're building confidence. We're going to get to this place where we are walking in the gym, walking into the arena, and we are so pumped up. We're feeling so good about what we're doing. But inevitably, something is going to come and try to tear us down. Something's not going to go the way we wanted it to. We're going to make a mistake. We're going to start focusing on things outside of our process, goals, performance cues. So we need a plan. We need to know what we need to do ahead of time so that when those things pop up, we can just stay confident. We can just keep doing what we know how to do and push those things aside very quickly. So that's what this next piece is about, okay? So we're going to go through the top 6 confidence killers and make a plan for overcoming them. Confidence killers really are anything that can undermine our confidence, okay? So anything that can undermine our confidence. Based on these pictures, which you have seen before, can you guess what the first confidence killer is? Any ideas? You are absolutely right if you guessed having strict expectations. So there's that word again, expectations. It's always coming up. Expectations are standards that you have about how you think you should perform. So things such as, I should hit my back handspring today, or I should have a good warm-up if I'm going to do well in competition, right? So we know that those things get in our way. That's not helpful. If we don't want to have strict expectations, what do we want to have? Okay, process goals and performance cues. This is again a recap, but it's important to note, okay? So the first confidence killer is having strict expectations, okay? And the way that we overcome that is by focusing on our process goals and our performance cues. So the second confidence killer is having self-doubt. The question that you need to ask yourself is, do you question your ability to perform? In my opinion, this is the absolute biggest confidence killer. Okay, the reason is, if you think about it, doubt is the complete opposite of confidence. Okay, so if you're doubting your abilities, your confidence it needs attention, right? You can't have confidence and doubt your ability. So that's why we really need to focus on this one. So doubt is really when you lack the belief that you can perform well. Okay, so maybe you doubt that you're prepared. Maybe you're not sure you practiced enough to do well today. Maybe you're not sure if you're strong enough to do the skill. Having self-doubt is a big confidence killer. And the way to overcome that, the key is to first identify your specific doubts, okay? So what is it? What are you actually saying to yourself? I'm not sure I will land my back handspring. I doubt that I'll perform well today because practice last week wasn't my best, okay? So just acknowledge, write down, what are your specific doubts? What specifically are you struggling with? Okay, what is affecting your confidence? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to refute or replace each doubt with a positive statement. Okay, so you've seen this little cycle before. We used it when we talked about turning negative self-talk into positive self-talk. Instead, we're going to use the same symbols, but instead we're going to turn doubt into trust. Okay, because trust, confidence go hand in hand. That's what we want. So your two options when you're doubting is you can replace the doubt or you can refute it. Okay, and remember, when you refute something, you're talking it down. So whatever that doubt is, you're going to go through reason and say, this is not true because, okay? So you're going to go through that conversation of, if you're doubting, I don't think I'm going to land my back handspring, okay? And you're struggling with a mental block. When you refute that, you're like, wait a minute, I have landed this thing 100 times before. I've done it in competition before. I have been practicing my butt off in practice, right? I've been working really hard. Of course I can do it. So you're basically just going through the logic there. Or you can just straight up replace it, right? So instead of saying, I'm not sure I can land my full, just say, I'm the strongest one here, right? I absolutely can do my full. The key here is whatever that doubt is, you're going to acknowledge it or name it, and then you're either going to replace or refute it with a positive statement that's going to serve you well, okay? So that's how you're going to overcome the confidence killer of having self-doubt. So the next confidence killer that I'm going to talk about is comparing yourself to others. The question is, do you compare yourself to other athletes? Again, this is a really big one. If you do compare yourself to other athletes, I am sure that you have noticed that it creates this defeating feeling, okay? It tears down your confidence. It just doesn't feel good, okay? There is no positive that can come from you comparing yourself to someone else. We will have a whole session on social approval, which will address this area in more detail, but for now, I want you to focus on two things. The first way that you can overcome this confidence killer is by putting on imaginary blinders, okay? So you'll see this beautiful horse on the screen, and he's getting ready for competition. He's got literal blinders on his face. So I'm not talking about you getting special goggles or anything like that, but just imagine when you're at practice or you're at a competition or a meet, and you are focusing on what other people are doing, right? If people have maybe more advanced skills than you do, or whatever it might be, just for a second acknowledge, I'm just going to put my blinders on, okay? I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm going to focus on what I am doing, okay? I'm going to focus on what I'm doing in the moment. I'm going to pay attention to my practice time, okay? I'm going to make the most of my warm-up, and I'm going to zone in and focus on my performance cues when I get in to compete. I'm not going to pay attention to anybody else, okay? So that's just a choice that you make. You just decide, okay, I'm distracted. I'm going to put my blinders on and get focused. The second option that you have, or the second way that you can overcome this confidence killer, is by focusing on what you have grown in. Focus on the growth you have experienced. What have you improved on from week to week? How can that give you confidence for your performance, right? Notice the growth that you have experienced and celebrate that, and get ready to have energy that day. So again, put on imaginary blinders, and focus on the growth that you've experienced. Stay focused on the job you're there to do, and then own your talents and strengths that you brought with you. And this will set you up for success. The next confidence killer I want to talk about, worrying about what others think. What about this one? Do you worry about what others think of you? It's another big one. So athletes really feel the pressure to impress others, not disappoint their teammates, right? Their coaches. And they may want to make their parents proud. They want to make their coaches proud, right? Maybe they have friends that are there and they want to make them proud. This is a really, really big one. So again, we're going to discuss this in greater detail when we talk about social approval. But for now, the word I want you to know is mind reading. Okay? Mind reading is when you make an assumption about what others might think of you that is incorrect. Okay? So it's really when you make an invalid assumption about what others might think of you. For example, does my coach think I'm good enough to be in the front? Will my parents be happy with my performance today if I don't place first or second? Right? Do they think I should be on a different level than I am? Okay. Do they question whether I will actually get this skill because I've been working on it for so long? So all of those things, those are what ifs. Those are I wonders. Okay. That's not helpful. That's not reality. Okay. So mind reading is when you're creating these things in your head that aren't true. So again, ask yourself, is what I'm thinking true, or is this something I've created in my own mind based on maybe some insecurities that I have with my performance? Once you determine that you have created these assumptions and there's no truth to them, just let them go, right? Stop focusing on it. Acknowledge, oh, I'm mind reading right now. Okay, that's not true. No, let it go. Moving on. It's not true, so I don't need to dwell on it. Okay? The goal with your performance is really to have self-respect instead of other respect. So know why it's important for you to do well. Why is it important to you to do well? Also make sure that your opinion is the first one that matters. So after your performance, don't immediately start thinking, oh, I wonder if my coach is going to be happy or sad, right? I wonder if my parents thought I did a good job. No, acknowledge, how do you feel? How do you feel about the hard work that you just did, right? The biggest reason that we do this is because we cannot control what others think. So it is not helpful for you to place all of your confidence on the opinions of others. The idea is that you want to recognize when you're mind reading, okay? Recognize when you're worried about what others think, and then you want to overcome this, or you want to move past it. So how do we move past it? Again, you've seen this before. These are the 3 R's for refocusing, okay? Focusing on what other people are thinking about you, right, in your performance is a huge distraction. So we're going to treat it like a normal distraction. We're going to recognize we're distracted, okay? We're going to regroup. So that means we're going to get our water. We're going to stretch. We're going to do our thing, right? We're going to say, nope, done with that. Whatever your phrase is, we're going to regroup, and then we're going to refocus. We're going to get back to those performance cues, get back to those process goals. The next confidence killer that I want to talk about is focusing on mistakes or focusing on mishaps. So do you dwell on mistakes or mishaps? We're going to look at this from 2 different perspectives. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is let's focus on mistakes and how they affect your confidence before you perform. So often before competitions, athletes focus on what they don't want to happen, okay? So we want success, and there are really 2 different ways of looking at it, right? 2 different methods or approaches we can use, okay? Again, the first one is focusing on what you don't want to happen. So I hope I don't fall. I hope I don't step off the mat. I hope my stunts don't fall, right? This focuses your energy on falling and messing up. So this is not going to make you feel confident. This is not going to make you feel prepared. This is not going to get you focused to perform well, okay? This is going to increase the pressure that you're feeling because you're so hyper-focused on all of the things that could go wrong that you don't want to happen, right? So that's all negativity. And that's going to crush confidence. So you're not going to be confident. You're not going to be energized. Focus on success. What do you want to do? So if you don't want to fall, right, because that's not helpful to think about, what do you want to do? Okay, focus on your process goals, right? So think, I will be patient. I'm going to have solid form, right? I'm going to be super strong when I'm tumbling today. When I'm stunting today, I'm going to lift up all the way through my arms, right? I'm going to have strong legs. Whatever your process goals are, okay? Focus on those. What are those big ideas, those big goals that you have for the day? Okay, step into that energy. Occupy your mind with the things that are actually going to help you perform better, and that will get you excited to compete, okay? And again, these are the things that are going to keep you focused on the moment so that you're fully present when you're going through your routine or your competition. So this is going to ensure that your confidence remains high and that your pressure stays low. Don't focus on what you don't want to happen. Focus on what you do want to happen. And that's really the best way to be in a good position to be successful that day. Now I'm going to talk to you about how this affects you after a performance, how focusing on mistakes affects you after a performance. So the goal is to learn how to analyze your performance objectively so that your confidence remains high and you can carry momentum from day to day. So you want to let go of mistakes and learn from them rather than dwell on them and criticize yourself based on what you think should have happened. Right? You're going to accept that perfect doesn't exist, because it doesn't, I promise. And momentum shifts are going to happen, and it's going to be okay. Confidence does not need to disappear quickly, depending on how you just performed. Now let's talk about the sixth and final confidence killer, okay? Being overly critical of your performance. The number one reason athletes do this is, you guessed it, because of expectations. There's our little guy again with the all or nothing signs. Okay, as you know, expectations crush confidence. You can literally see them on the screen. When you focus only on the unrealistic standards of needing to perform perfectly, you leave no room to see progress. So you're going to miss all of the opportunities that exist for you to build up your confidence. And that's not what we want, right? We want to build up confidence with everything we can, right? If you're looking for an all or nothing, did we win? Did I hit this, right? Did all of my stunts hit? Was my timing perfect? Was my form perfect? Okay. Did I mess up at all? When you're focusing on these things, that's like a checkbox. Yes or no. Did it happen? Yes or no. Instead, I want you to think about all of the good things that happen, right? I want you to be able to take a step back and look at your entire performance and identify, here are the things that went really well. Here's what could have gone better. And here's how we're going to get there. Okay. So instead of expectations, as you already know, we want to use process goals, okay? But when you're looking back at your performance to determine if it went well or not, you're going to gauge how well you focused on your process goals, not how well you met your expectations. This is going to give you a benchmark, okay? You're not going to have any judgment because it's not a pass or fail, okay? This allows you to improve and grow, right? So after your performance, you're going to ask yourself, how well did I stay focused on my process goals? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did I execute on my process goals? I want you to then reflect on 3 things. The first thing, what 2 things minimum did you do well? Okay, so 2 things I did well today are, okay, and this can be after practice, this can be after a competition, either one. But this needs to go in your confidence resume, okay? The 2 things I did well today are. The next thing you're going to do is identify 1 thing I could have done better is, okay? Because again, we don't just want to settle, we don't just want to accept whatever happens, right? We do want to improve, we want to grow, and we want to be really successful. So that's how you do that. You identify what could have gone better, right? What opportunities exist for me to improve, okay? So the next thing you're going to ask yourself is next week at practice, I will. So this means that you're taking a look at that thing that could have gone better that you identified, and you're making a plan for practice next week to improve in this area, okay? So next week at practice, I will. So what are you going to do to improve? And then you're going to let it go, and you're going to go enjoy the rest of your weekend. You're going to enjoy the rest of your evening, and you're going to just enjoy stepping out of that athlete role into your life, right? Everything that exists outside of your sport. And that's really important, okay? Otherwise, if we're just focusing on the expectations and we're dwelling on our mistakes and being critical of our performance, we're going to miss all of those awesome things, and it's going to ruin so many different opportunities for us to experience joy, and that's not what I want for you, okay? So again, by doing these 3 things, you're going to develop a way to constructively assess your performance so your confidence remains high and you're seeing growth from practice to practice and performance to performance. That wraps up the content for this week. So your next steps. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to reflect, okay? So look at your action guide, and you're going to take a moment and you're going to read through the last 2 questions. You're going to sit with these, and then you're going to fill them out. So the first question is, what confidence killers did you identify during this training that commonly come up for you? And then you're going to answer the question, as a result of this training, what changes are you going to make? How will you apply the material? Again, the content is good, but it is not going to make a difference in your performance unless you're actually applying it to your specific situation. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your Managing Confidence Killers worksheet or your application guide, and I want you to go through and fill that out. So this is the document that'll be next. So it's going to be number 3 this week, and you're going to fill that out, and you're going to email that to me when it's completed. Okay? Email or screenshot and text it to me. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to share your takeaways. So based on this training, what aha moments did you have? What big takeaways are there for you that you want to share? Okay, the way that you can share those are on your action guide. So Instagram, #MindOverMentalBlock, direct message to me, email me, or you can text me. Okay, so any of those methods, there's 4 different options, but just share some takeaways that you had that you thought were really important. So that wraps up this content video. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.